Today I want to talk to you about a situation that happened, I think, in my second year of the PhD, and that was when I went home for the summer and I was explaining to my family what was this amazing, innovative thing that I was doing, what was my work about, what was my research about, and so on. And after I've been explaining that to them, at some point they look at me and say, okay, all right, yeah, like we get it, but what is it that you actually do? And I remember when they asked me that, I was like, what do you mean what I actually do? I just explained you what I actually do. And I wouldn't say that I was bothered by the question, and I would say that I was even offended a little bit, because that meant that what I just said to them was completely sounded like nonsense to them. So they clearly needed a more thorough explanation. But after I gave it some thought, and I would say that this is actually how my entire journey in communication and structuring your work and so on happened, I realized those people don't know what you do and they are not you. So you cannot talk to them the same way you would talk to yourself or to your peers and so on. And I want to tell you this story today because I feel that many times STEM professionals, because they are exposed to many people who are from their same field, who are doing the same or similar thing they are doing, they lack this consciousness that other people don't know as much about our work as we do. And I see this happening with my clients all day long. They are just saying, okay, but those people don't seem like they understand me. And I'm like, of course they don't understand you if you are speaking as if you were talking to yourself. So my message for you is that the conscious effort of making sure that your work is not only clear to others, but it makes them see the value. They see why your work matters. It's something that requires not only conscious effort, but also work and training, right? So the good news here, that was the bad news, but the good news here is that you can train this muscle every day. Every time you explain your work to your grandma, to your child, to your partner, to this friend that is working in another field, every time you have the opportunity to explain your work in terms other people will understand. And if you will do just one thing in this year or in your career, I really would like it to be to learn this skill of making sure that other people understand what you do, because it's going to make your career, first of all, infinitely more simple, because people are going to understand you and therefore they're going to hire you, they are going to see the value of your work, reward you for it, and so on. But also you are leaving almost no room for misunderstanding, because when people are understanding what you're doing, understanding what you're saying and what your work is about, then you give them this window of opportunity to get to know you through the work that you're doing. And I feel this is super, super important, especially when there is funding involved, because I've seen this happen many times. Brilliant clients that come back to me saying, okay, this application didn't go through, this pitch didn't go through. And then when we go through the pitch and go through it step by step, what are the missing pieces? What are those pieces that made the people who were listening shut down and turn this proposal away and say, okay, this is not something we are going to fund? Usually there are several things missing. First of all is the context, that if people don't understand why your work matters, they're not going to even be bothered listening to it. Secondly, you have to make sure that they understand, now that they understand why it matters, finding a new cure for breast cancer, for example, a new therapy for breast cancer, they get why this is important. Then you have to make sure that they get the way you are going to get to that, to the goal. What are you doing? What does your research, your work, your science consist of? How can we relate that to something that is very familiar to them? And then they need to understand why they should act upon it. Look, if we don't do this, then this and this and this will happen. And all of those three elements have to sort of sing in a harmony. It has to be Everything has to go in the same direction so that you do not dissipate your energy, and most importantly, that you do not dissipate their attention. Because we know that nowadays the modern currency and what we are really all fighting for is attention, is this spotlight and making sure that we are seen by others. So having said that, this is exactly what I help STEM professionals do. I help them find structure in their messy work, messy data, and make sure that their work is visible, clear, and impactful for other people. In that way, they can be seen, they can be valued, and they can also be accordingly rewarded, whether they are seeking for funding, they're seeking for promotions, or whatever kind of reward that you are looking for. So I'm going to leave a link down below where you can schedule a completely free discovery call with me, where we can speak about that. We can talk about your specific challenges, how this thing is happening in your career, how I can help you move forward in the direction that you want in terms of your communication skills, but not only that, but also the structure of your work, how you are going to make it all make sense for yourself first and then for others. So I hope you found this video useful, and as always, see you in the next few days with another video. Bye bye.